Creep by Radiohead is another good one.
Oh, that is.
That would be really good,
It would
actually.
be.
Yeah, let's do Creep by Radiohead. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Looking at JB Pritzker speaking at Jesse Jackson's funeral. He looks um he looks hungry, as JB Pritzker normally does. Just again, bunch of awful people there at the thing. But yeah, I mean, to the point of um the the fight in Iran. I want to talk a little bit about that. First, let me tell you about Noto Roofing. NOTO roofing.com, noto roofing.com. Your roofing guys, listen. Here's the deal. With the hail damage that I've been telling you all about over the past few days, there's going to be a lot of fly-by-night roofers coming and knocking on doors. And some of y'all may have had that happen already. Just some random guy there's nothing worse, by the way. Like, don't come up to my house and knock on my door. I don't like that. I actually have this sense of impending doom when somebody knocks on my door. It stresses me out. Don't do it. But they do it, man. There's gonna be some that come through and they knock on your door and they say, "Hey, you some bad weather and blah blah blah." Don't just pick somebody because they knocked on your door. Pick somebody because you know you can trust them. Pick somebody because Andrew Mclain knows these guys and he's used them and he knows how they work. He knows, and there's many in this audience that will give you the same testimony that Nodo is so good at what they do, and they're in the business of taking care of people. So, if you think you might have some damage, or you're just generally curious and haven't gotten an inspection in years, it's absolutely free. You just got to reach out to them, let them know I sent you, and they're going to hook you right on up. 205-848-2299. It's 205-848-2299 online, notoroofing.com. What did we find out yesterday in Operation Epic Fury? We found out that an Iran drone carrier, the size of a World War II aircraft carrier, ends up bursting into flames after a direct hit by U.S. forces. That video got released. Absolutely amazing. And earlier today, the White House released a GTA style video, like GTA the video game,
Yeah.
and was like the GTA character from I think it was San Andreas was the video game GTA San Andreas, and the character who I can't remember his name, he's like, "Oh ish, here we go again." And then it shows one of our missiles hitting the boats or hitting the airplanes or whatever, and it was just doing it over and over. I'm like, the White House communications team and whoever runs the Twitter and puts these videos together, top notch. Keep it up. But yeah, the Iran just continues to get hit harder and harder. And because of that, it's almost as if between Iran themselves and their proxy groups, that they're just firing drones and missiles indiscriminately. And what I mean by that is they're ultimately attacking other surrounding countries that would normally be at least somewhat sympathetic, but if not, would just want to stay out of it and not rock the boat. But they're hitting all these other places. They're hitting they've pissed off Jordan, they've pissed off Syria, they're pissing off Saudi Arabia and the UAE. They're firing at Qatar. They're hitting hotels. Now there was a drone attack that targeted Azerbaijan and Azerbaijan airports, which left 4 people wounded. And now that government is saying, we're going to retaliate against Iran. You can't fire your drones at us and just get away with it. So Iran is now attacking almost every country they can. And the neighboring countries are not going to put up with this craziness for too long. Some of which have already gotten involved. Yes, as a matter of fact, 2 days ago, Azerbaijan's president attended the Iranian embassy in his country, Iran's embassy, to pay tribute to Ayatollah Khamenei. Okay? That was 2 days ago. The next day, an Iranian drone hits their airport. And now that president went from one day saying or paying his respects to Khamenei to the next day saying we are now going to retaliate against Iran. He said, "We will not tolerate this unprovoked act of terror and aggression against Azerbaijan. Our armed forces have been instructed to prepare and implement appropriate retaliatory measures. We are ready to demonstrate our strength against any hostile force, and they should not forget this in Iran." So even the people that are going to Khamenei funerals are like, okay, we're going to be joining the fight. It's not working out for them. And on the other side of things, the media, as Matt Murphy mentioned, is doing everything they can to demean this. It's almost as if they're on the side of Iran. I heard this analogy yesterday, and we're talking about when it comes to the media and it comes to the left, these are the people that if they had the chance, they would want to take out Hitler, right? Because Hitler's like really bad. If they could go back in time and kill baby Hitler to prevent all of the atrocities that happened, they would do it, right? But then when it comes to actually taking out a Hitler, which would have been Khomeini, the Hitler of the Middle East, somebody that tortured and killed and maimed and just, caused countless tragedies over the years, they all of a sudden don't want anything to do with it. They don't want, no, we don't actually want to kill Hitler. We don't want to get involved in that. Here's an example of what the media has been saying just over the past few days.
I remember watching Pete Hegseth going, how childish is this?
Is
this language he's using?
Yeah.
And this sort of bro-centric, tough guy, we sunk their battleship. It was pathetic, but also embarrassing.
The Ayatollah's son, this guy is said to be even more of a hardliner than his dad. I hate to say Ayatollah so.
The Trump administration's propaganda machine is in full, sway right now.
No one who Barron Trump has ever been in a classroom with is likely to have joined the military.
So this is the media over the past few days. This is what they've been putting out there.
Joke.
This is their argument that they have against what's happening with Operation Epic Fury. And they had this pipe dream that the Senate and the House were going to vote on an Iran War Powers resolution in order to stop Donald Trump from conducting these military actions, which presidents in the past have done time and time again. That went to the Senate at first, and it got voted down. And then it went to the House yesterday. It got voted down again last night in a 219 to 212 vote. Needless to say, our boy John Fetterman came through yet again. All Republicans voted against the resolution except Thomas Massie and Warren Davidson. You might not know him. He's from Ohio. All the while, two-faced Democrats criticized Trump for launching strikes without congressional approval and questioned whether the U.S. Faced any kind of imminent threat that would legally allow him to take military action on his own. They claim that he has no plan. He had no reason to do this, that we've got to stop him because he's just doing crazy stuff with no sort of foresight as to what's to come. It's like our good friend Sri Thanadar. Everybody's favorite Congressman Sri Thanadar. This is Sri Thanadar. And Peter Hegseth is going to take us into World War III. We have to stop him. We have to vote for the Iran War Powers resolution.
Hey, this is Congressman Sri Thanadar. I am going to the congressional briefing on Iran war. I don't understand why Trump decided to start this war. He said he just had a feeling that Iran is going to be attacking us. Now, J.D. Vance had some other reason. Secretary Rubio said because the Israel is going to start the war and we might get attacked. None of these cabinet members or Trump have a unified reason why. I am going to this congressional briefing right now looking for some answers.
Yes, they're looking for some answers. They're looking for a Slurpee. Sri Thanadar, man. What a character. It's almost like he's not even real. It's like they're just like, we need to put some sitcom-esque characters in Congress just to make it like a show. It's like an episode of The Office. You know? That's what it feels like sometimes. But they make this argument, and they're really going to be leaning into this over the next few days about gas prices. Gas prices have ticked up, 30 cents or whatever it is. It is to be expected. I mean, Donald Trump said so. Uh, but it's not going to last long. And that argument's not going to be valid for much longer. These are the markets that are just getting a little flipped out by this. But again, I go back to what Matt Murphy was saying. All great points he was making was that the Strait of Hormuz is a passageway in which 20% of the world's oil supply passes through. It's right there in Iran, and they have controlled the Strait of Hormuz for a very long time. And sometimes, some days, they just decide, hey, we're just going to shut it down. If you do something we don't like, we'll just shut it down, and we'll disrupt the flow of oil to the rest of the world, which will then ultimately jack up prices and everything else. We can't continue to live like that. We can't continue to allow a country that chants death to America to have that kind of power over our economy and the world's economy. So it's got to come to an end. But in the immediate, as people are flipping out about what's going to happen, action's already been taken. And this wouldn't have been done by another president. They already thought about this in advance. They have sunk all the ships. They don't have a way to block the Strait of Hormuz. Now the only hesitation by these tankers, by these ships to travel through that strait is now going to be, is Iran or these proxy terror groups going to fire at us from the shore or wherever, or shoot some drones at us as we try to pass through? And the U.S. government, the Trump administration says, you know what? We're going to make sure that doesn't happen. Whenever you guys are ready, let's go. Let's start sending these ships through. Insurance rates are going up for obvious reasons on these ships. Well, relief is being provided on that front. And as soon as they get a couple of ships through there and they show that they can get that oil transported through the Strait of Hormuz, once again, those prices are going to come right back down. It's all about how the market feels and how the market views the current situation. You'll see that happen very soon. And that argument will then be eliminated from the quiver of the radical left, who is going to oppose this no matter how successful it ends up being. 205-545-9950. 545-9950. Country philosopher on the line. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I wanted to point something out. By taking Venezuela and Iran, we have effectively choked off 20 to 25% of Russia's oil supply and nearly 50% of China's oil supply. And if we control the straits and the shipping lanes, then those two world superpowers who, have opposed us for decades will have to come crawling to us. So,
Yeah.
this is a strategic move. This is a strategic move that is going to have far-reaching impact that most people don't even know about. And I wanted to point something else out that I think you'll kind of get behind. We have enemies overseas, and that we're worried about, and there are definitely countries out there that are bad players that want to see the end of the U.S. But I think our greatest enemy, I think our greatest threat to democracy is the liberal left in America. If you have people in America who are actively cheering for U.S. troops to be defeated in Iran, if you have women who are protesting in the streets because Iranian women are taking their hijabs and burqas off for the first time in their lives, these people aren't capable. They're not capable of being reasoned with. You can't have a logical discussion with them because they will flip-flop and say whatever they need in order to justify their feel-good, emotion-based agenda. They can't handle facts, statistics, logic, and reasoning. And I am convinced that liberals and white liberal women and the Democrat Party are truly trying to dismantle America from within so that they can rebuild us after their own image of what they think. And basically what that is California. And I lived in the Bay Area for 20 years, and I can tell you that the Zen fascists of California, how they live every day until they get their marching orders. These people they're horrible human beings. And this is what we have to look forward to. How do we turn the tables on these liberals? How do we, change hearts and minds and win our country back without civil war or some ridiculous, possibility like that? I mean, they've already gotten to our children in the school systems. They've been at our children for decades now. Now they're getting at our children through social media and school bus talk, So where is the pressure relief for us to be able to win our country back without just saying, screw it, we're taking up arms and we're going to go ahead and end liberalism in the Democrat Party once and for all? And I know that is a crazy thing to think about, but it is a very real possibility. The tree of liberty absolutely has to be watered with the blood of tyrants. And don't ever forget that. You guys have a great day.
All right, thank you, man. So a lot there. I mean, for me, I think the first step and it's important to understand that this isn't a fight that's being waged by the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is almost a prop to a bigger organization or group, if you will, of people that are doing all these things, such as indoctrinating children and, cheering on the destruction of the West and cheering on the destruction of democracy, if you will. But the first step is going to be to dismantle the Democrat Party because we are currently winning. While it is frustrating to see things such as the trans movement and the assault on federal agents and the things that we talk about on this show and that you guys see and are so frustrated with, the mainstream media and everything else, we are winning in the meantime. With all the craziness going on, we are winning against these people because Trump has implemented an America First agenda that's being run by this well-oiled machine, which is Trump 2.0. But the first step is to dismantle the Democrat Party, and the way to do that is to continue to defeat them in the elections, in these midterms, in the next presidential election, and the election after that. At some point, if we can stop this back and forth that we're used to happening, which is Republican in the White House, Democrat in the White House, Republican, then Democrat, Republican, and Democrat, um, they'll be done for. I mean, the party will have to crawl back in their hole and die, and then emerge as some sort of new, maybe more moderate party. But the evil that exists that pull the strings of the Democrat Party will still be there, which are the extremist entities that push these radical agendas that the far left buys into, attacking our young people, pushing the trans ideology, open borders, and war on Christianity, so on and so forth. That will be further down the road. But the big step would be, as I said, destroying the Democrat Party as we know it and making sure these lunatics can never hold office again.